Thursdays at KUSI are reserved for this guy right here, Top Dog 619. We know him as Chris. The world knows you as Top Dog 619. Let's start with rankings. Everybody has it. Every newspaper, every magazine. The only media outlet that doesn't have a prep ranking system is the one that goes to every game. That would be the Prep Picks Report. You are looking at the first of its kind. We'll be doing this every week. Every member of our team votes. And Mission Hills is on top. The glaring omission or the glaring error is?
St. Augustine. Obviously, they're just sitting outside of our top 10 right now. Now, one thing I do want to mention, we're the only media outlet that actually goes out to all these different games. This list is actually voted on by all of the Red Jackets that see all of these teams every week.
And your thoughts about El Camino being in the top 10?
The only one, I'm looking at this, the only one that stands out to me, obviously their record doesn't show it, their prominence, is El Camino sitting at 4-3. I think they deserve to be a little bit higher than that. They're loaded with talent, and I think that they're going to make a deep run in the playoffs.
All right, I would say 3 losses, you're ranked. If you're lucky to be ranked. If I'd put a 3-loss team in, I'd put St. Augustine for beating Madison.
I can see that. That's a good argument.
Let's start in the East County. The Elkhorn Ford Game of the Week features 2 high-octane offenses. Lincoln and Christian have combined for how many points?
634 points, I believe. And they're actually only separated by 6 points on the entire season.
So they're going to be ringing the bell big time. Will they need another digit on the scoreboard?
They might just have to add 3 digits on that scoreboard this week. But with that said, looking at this game, I like both teams very much. Christian's very disciplined. They play hard-nosed football. Brad Jeremiah is throwing the ball all around. But I think with the Division I running back that Lincoln has, they might just have a little too much for Christian to handle. We'll take Lincoln in that game.
Yeah, I think Lincoln by maybe 8 points is what I'd say, being the road team.
Yep.
And so they're actually, it's an 11-point game.
There you
but
go.
we're getting, let's talk about, the Bishop School. We always talk about Moses Moody. Well, there's somebody throwing him the ball that probably we've ignored.
That we haven't talked about much this season. That's none other than quarterback Jeffrey Jackson. So there is an omission. I think I put something out on Twitter where he is set to break a record. The reality is that Braxton Burmeister is the all-time leading touchdown passing quarterback in San Diego with 124, and he's coming up on that. He's sitting at 99, so currently Jeffrey's sitting in second place in all-time for touchdowns as a quarterback.
And does he catch Braxton?
Well, I mean, it depends on how deep they get in the playoffs. I know that the competitor that Jeffrey is, he's not going to want to come out of any of those games early, so he's got a really good shot of breaking Braxton's record.
All right, so who else is having a big year behind center?
Well, there's another kid we don't talk much about, and that's the quarterback up north, because most of the time we talk about El Camino, we're talking about none other than Chris Brown. But somebody's throwing the ball up there. That's none other than Jaden Casey. Jaden Casey is having a spectacular not only year and season, but a career. I believe if he throws for 200 more yards, he's the all-time leading quarterback in Oceanside Oceanside City history.
So they're 4-3. Does that just speak to the roster or the schedule that they play, or do you think they're? I think we all thought they were going to do better.
It's easy to say that. It's easy. Well, the coaching change with Jay Ralph not being there obviously affected some of their play calling. But the coach has stepped in, done a great job with his team. But you got to remember, they play in the Avocado League. That's the hardest division in all of San Diego.
All right, so let's talk about. We're always talking Silver Pigskin finalists. Has your list narrowed some?
It actually has. I mean, we started this list earlier in the year. We had the 6 guys that I went out front. Some of the guys have produced. Some guys haven't.
Well, I remember the initial thing, there was nobody from Helix. I think that's changed, hasn't it?
That has changed. I'm actually going to be adding a Scotty to my top 6. I'll leave that up to the Twitter world and our fans to see who that might be. But there are some guys that are stepping up. Other guys haven't done as well. So, yeah, we're going to start shortening that list down now and making first cuts.
So you're responsible for that. So
yes,
make sure that happens every week. I know a kid whose stock is rising. A future Buckeye. Could you talk a little bit about Chris Olave?
Well, first of all, huge honor from Ohio State University. I mean, he just got an offer from the Ohio State University. I know it's not your alma mater, Wisconsin, and you're kind of partial to them. Yeah. But it is a national powerhouse. I mean, they produce NFL players. They produce national championships. That is a huge honor for one of our San Diego players to be selected as a scholarship offer for the Ohio State University.
And I get it. Not everyone can get into Wisconsin. So if you're going to go to the Big Ten, Ohio State's a good option. And, Chris, when you make that decision, where should he make it?
Right here on KUSI.
Can we talk about some kid who is going to make it here?
Yeah, we absolutely can.
Let's go ahead.
We had an announcement earlier this week. I talked to his father, and I-Call from St. Augustine is going to make his announcement of where he's going to attend college right here on KUSI.
All right, very cool. Where are you going to be on Friday?
Well, I'm obviously, after almost 60 years, Crawford has finally got a home stadium with lights. And being an alumni at Crawford, and my heart goes out to him, I'm going to be filming my first ever Hodcast right there at Crawford High School Friday night as they take on Kurt Hines and the Coronado Islanders.
And we will have Joaquin spent the day out there shooting pictures. I know you have pictures. And we will have the Prep Picks Report pregame show. The pre-PR is going to be inside the brand new stable. So we will be working side by side once again, and you'll be doing a Hodcast for the website. So on behalf of Top Dog 619, the prep conversation's over, but I want to encourage everybody to keep it right here on KUSI because we have a guy by the name of Wells. You might know him as Mr. Perfect, 21 big league seasons. He's going to be talking about all sorts of things coming up in just an hour's time. Right now, the 5 p.m. show is over. Please stay tuned through these commercial breaks and watch the 6 o'clock news right here on KUSI.